Hi. So
Hi.
my name is Stan Ajemi, and I'm the Director of Education for ICF Colorado. And I'm here today with Betz, who will be our speaker for our April 10th chapter meeting called The Brain is Not Enough, Helping Our Clients Extend Their Minds.
Mhm.
So Betz is a neuroscientist and a coach who's been training coaches on neuroscience, consciousness, and transformational coaching for well over a decade. She was a faculty member and served as the neuroscience consultant for the Coaches Training Institute, CTI, for many years. She's been a certified coach for 20 years and holds a PCC credential. Every time I hear Ann Betts speak, I'm impressed with her practical approach using neuroscience in our coaching practices, which is always grounded in the latest science. She's also a published poet, speaker, and writer, blending her knowledge of the brain and consciousness with an appreciation of the wonders of the human soul. Anne lives in Santa Fe, New Mexico, with her five highly entertaining cats. One of them who's right
I'm
behind your
okay with
shoulder.
that,
Right there.
right? He's why making sure everything's okay.
So welcome, Ann Betts. Thanks for joining us.
You. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. And I love that you said that I can't remember the words that you put it, but when I think about neuroscience, what I do and what we do in my company is we do applied neuroscience, which is different than theoretical neuroscience. Because for me, my big question in life is so what? Not like an abdication. Oh, well, so what? But like, so what? Like, where does this point us? What about this? And that's what's interesting to me is not just the theory, but how does it help people in a real life, real time way? So I love that you said that because that's my commitment.
Yeah, that's great. Well, actually, the first question I have really is like, I know you've been doing neuroscience for many years. How did you get to be a coach? How did that journey happen?
Yeah, so I studied coaching in 2001. So I think my bio says, 20 years, but it's really going closer to 25 at this point. And I became a coach because somebody asked me basically, what would you do if no one paid you? And I responded, I would have deeply philosophical conversations with people. I was a philosophy major, but nobody's going to pay me to do that. And she said, wait a minute, there's a profession. And I'd never heard of coaching. And so we met with someone who was a coach who talked about the profession. I was like, I'm in. And I took my first coaching class to see if I liked it and immediately signed up for all the rest. And that was in 2001. And I have loved this as a profession because it has allowed me to have a fundamental container, which is that I am a coach, and then explore all these other things to feed my magpie mind that likes bright, shiny objects and the next cool thing. So it's enabled me to go both deep and broad. And I think before becoming a coach, I was just doing the broad part and never the deep part. So briefly, I worked for the Coactive Training Institute for a number of years. I led programs for them. And then in about 2010, I'm very, very fascinated by consciousness. And that's actually why I became a coach was it felt like a way to help people like elevate their consciousness. Not so much just to get what they want, but to become different people on the planet that was going to be more helpful for the planet. That's my big commitment. And so my business partner and I work with a model of consciousness. And what I was finding, Stan, is that people either believed it or they didn't. And for us, it didn't feel, it's sort of like believing if the earth is round or not. Like the earth is round. It is. We got lots of evidence for that. You can fly around it. You can believe all day that it's flat, but, sorry, it doesn't seem to be what's true at any rate. Sorry if you're a flat earther. At any rate, so I wanted a way to bring people into this exploration of consciousness where they wouldn't just dismiss it as just a belief. And I started seeing things in neuroscience, and I said to my business partner, I think that's it. I think that's the way. And it really was. And what I didn't expect is I started studying, and my initial place that I went to was the Neuro Leadership Institute. It was a master's program, which I did not complete, I'll be honest about, because I got very tired of them and they got tired of me. Um, that's a whole other story. But I did not go originally looking for coaching. I went looking for what are the neural correlates of different levels of consciousness. But the bonus was, as they were talking about different things in neuroscience, I just kept thinking, I do that as a coach. I already do that. You are telling me why what I'm doing is working. This is fascinating. So for me, there's two aspects to neuroscience. One is, where does it point us in terms of consciousness, effectiveness? And the other is, how does coaching fit? And then how do the three of them fit? That's what I really am interested in. So we started teaching our program on neuroscience and consciousness in 2012, and we've been going strong ever since. And we used to do it in person, and then COVID, we did virtual. And I think we've had people from every single continent participate in this, and we're still going strong, and we love teaching it.
Oh, that's so great. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. So next one question I have is, what's your next bright, shiny object? What are you passionate about these days?
Oh my gosh. I am these days, if I can be really transparent about this, these days, what I'm really passionate about is people not giving up hope. We're recording this in February. It's a difficult time in much of the world, not just North America. It's a difficult time. We are facing some things that we never really thought we would have to face, I think. And so my energy and my passion is in amplifying the light and being a source of that and being a source of grounded hopefulness. Not Pollyanna, not gonna, la la la, bury my head in the sand, but how do we continue to find hope in the reality of life? And I just need to, my sense of my role right now is to be a drumbeat of hope and to be a source of that, for my people, for my community, for whoever finds me. And honestly, that is what I am most passionate about right now.
And how does that relate to consciousness and your neuroscience work? Or does it relate?
Well, it does. It does because they really, I mean, it's sort of like a one of those, ooh, what are all the intersections and how much time do we have? But
Right.
but the so here's how I look at it. I look at that consciousness for me is not an on-off switch. It's more of a sense of a continuum of consciousness from very levels of consciousness, ways of being human that are very destructive to life, to increasing ways that people increasingly are beneficial to life. And I think of it as on this continuum. And for me, one of the reasons I love coaching and I love coaches, and I have will be a coach until I die, absolutely, is that helping people explore the things that we have them explore creates connections for them that tend to, all the factors, how long are they coaching, how willing are they, all of that. But for a coaching client who's willing, who sticks with it for a while, what we see is they become more regulated, they become more able to manage their own emotions and make positive requests instead of acting out. They learn that. They learn how to be both interested in the humanity of what is happening as well as the practicality of what is happening. So the so that it's not a, I just need to get stuff done and it doesn't matter how people feel, or it just matters how people feel and it doesn't matter if we can get anything done. We learn how to really bring both in. And coaches, I think, just do this naturally. We really learn how to kind of balance, or in my word, integrate ourselves. And so what I've seen is, as we move on this continuum of awareness, consciousness, effectiveness, what we find are people are more able to move to a place where they bring more light to the world when they can balance themselves better. Most people. So that's where I think it relates. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, and I'm also curious about this topic that we're going to
Yeah.
talk about because, like, I come from a family of scientists and physicians and
Oh,
very
okay.
analytical, straight and narrow thinkers, and and what you're talking about really does require a new level of thinking. And I'm curious how that relates to this topic and what you're planning
Yeah.
on sharing with us. Yeah.
So what we're going to do on the April 10th, is that when April 10th
April
is we're
10th.
going to
Yeah.
talk about the extended mind. And the extended mind is originally an idea from philosophy that then has been validated in neuroscience. And I am going to take you through it because it is absolutely fascinating. But here is some of where it relates. And we are going to talk about, as we go through it, one of the things we're going to talk about is here is this aspect of how we extend our mind. And by the way, you're already doing it. You're already doing it as a coach. So it's a flip, it's a script flip. So the script in the Western world, and particularly in the USA, to some degree Canada, particularly here, is that individual achievement is what matters, right? And one of the things I've seen, and I don't mean to start the gender wars, is that women may sort of see this in the workplace, but it's not how they lead their personal lives as much, right? Like women sort of get like, no, we need each other. I need my girlfriends. I need my tribe. I need my community. And sometimes this can be harder for men. And I think it's because it's not anything innate. It's just socialization. I just think men are more socialized, get more messages, be a man, stand up, be the top of the, where are you in the hierarchy, be the top of the pile, all that, right? Okay. What are you talking about, Anne? How does that relate to anything? Okay. Here's where it relates. So the extended mind script flip is that, I'm sorry, here's the truth, boys and girls, we're limited. This brain is limited. It's limited in terms of memory. It's limited in terms of processing ability. We have created all sorts of other ways to help us navigate things. And the extended mind script flip is saying, no, you can't just make this bigger and smarter. There's a limit to what you can do. Now, you can do some things. You can hack the brain and do all of that, but you're actually smarter if you put more attention toward, rather than trying to get this better, is how can I extend it? And how we extend it, a little sneak preview, is we extend it in relationship. So you and I are bigger because of the conversation we're having. We extend it through being able to access what our bodies are telling us. That's a huge extension. You don't have to just do this. You have a whole, my friend Mandy Blake calls it social and emotional sense organ. Your whole body is processing things. And if we don't access that, we limit the information and we limit the quality of the information. We extend our mind through physical objects and the spaces that we're in. This is like when you go, we have a beautiful Japanese spa here in Santa Fe, and you go there and it's the Buddhas and the water and the koi fish in the pond. It's just really hard to be in a bad mood when you're there.
I can imagine.
Right? Because our spaces shape us as well. And we extend our mind. I sort of put these both in the same bucket through, I call it externalization. We can extend our mind by doing a mind map, by drawing things out, or a brain dump, like let's get everything out on the whiteboard, all of that, through writing things down. And then the fourth way we extend our mind is through technology. But we can't make that the be all and end all. And we see this really, Chat GPT, that is extending our minds. And I think that's a good way of holding it, rather than, oh my God, we're all going to be out of work. It's really thinking of it more as, no, it's a tool. It's not the master, it's a tool, and we can go further by using it in the appropriate way as a tool. So I talk about that as well. Technology is part of it. Um, all of these are ways of becoming more aware, because we're not limited to just what is happening with the brain in our skull. We have all these other ways of knowing, and ways that we can, in in infinite power, be successful. by extending our mind. Whereas if we just try to hack this brain and improve our memory, and, practice all of those things, there is a limit to what it can do. But there's no limit to what we can do with each other, with our bodies, with the physical spaces, and with technology. So that's my
Wow. Oh
thinking.
my gosh, this is so great. You just mentioned so many things. How are we going to cover all this in 90 minutes?
I have a
Like
PowerPoint. That's
AI
how good I
alone.
got a PowerPoint. Speaking of technology, that's how I extend my mind. It's how I extend my memory, actually. I put stuff on the PowerPoint, then I don't have to have a script, and then I can work with it. That's a mind extension.
Right.
I don't,
Absolutely.
I don't, my memory's not that great. So I just put it there and I know what I'm supposed to say. So yes, we will get through it all.
Well, so how will we get through this all? What do we, what should we expect when we see this? Yeah.
Well, I'm going to talk about what this theory is. I'll unpack that a little bit more. What is this extending the mind? And then what we're going to do is we're really going to go through and look at, after we look at sort of the generalities of it, and where it came from, then we're going to look at very specifically, what do we do as coaches? How do we do this? And this is the place where I think everybody who comes, we get to inspire each other. And I've gotten some great ideas from people that I never thought of in each conversation. So I will definitely ask folks, now that we've talked about like extending the mind through the body in coaching, what do you do? What are some other things that you do so that we can inspire each other, through shares and in the chat, etc. And then my plan is that we'll have time that I'm going to show you a really cool coaching tool that takes one of these aspects of the extended mind. I don't want to tell you too much about it because it's not a real, it's hopefully will be somewhat of a surprise, but it's a really fun and amazingly impactful coaching tool. And part of what I'm passionate about, Stan, about extending the mind is that when we just do coaching that just is talking, and that's it, right? We're just talking. That's not bad. We ask
Mhm.
powerful questions. We get little, got some lighting, neurons are lighting up, and oh, I never thought about it that way. And that's really good. But when we add in the body, and when we add in and recognize the power of our presence and our relationship as a coach with the client and the trust, and when we add in how do we use the external environment and things that are external to us, and even technology, we can put our coaching on steroids. Absolutely. What I have noticed is everything that I do that is more of an extended mind kind of thing is, I will get insights like really, really powerfully. That might come through powerful questions, but they seem to be much more accessible when I can use these other ways.
Yeah. Oh, this is great. I love this because um, I don't have a great memory to begin with, but then I had a brain injury a number of years ago, and so I've definitely leaned on my phone and other
Yep.
technology to extend my brain.
Yep.
And I'm totally clear. This is my memory here.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
this is why we have Post-it notes up.
Right. Right.
And, I've got a whiteboard right in back of my computer, and I have various things so that we're not taxing our brain with all of that, but can use it to be more flexible in the moment,
Yeah. Yeah.
and use it for what it's good for rather than for, trying to push the limits of the memory and all of that. It's just sort of, for me, why bother? Um, that's really good. I want to say one other thing, and I will say this again in the session is I also think here's one of the things I really like about the extended mind. I think it's such a good argument for long-term, even permanent coaching engagements. And here's why. We have people that have worked with us. You might have somebody that's worked with you over a period of time and they've handled their issue, right? Like that's good. Like they're good. They're doing their public speaking now. They're all good. But this idea of having someone that they can extend their mind to who does not have an agenda, you don't get that anywhere else in life unless you have really good friends, or maybe all your friends are coaches, like my, like they don't use it. But even then, even friends have an agenda for us. But you have this coach who has been trained to get out of the way to some degree And so I can extend my mind in this way that is really still my agenda. And that's amazing. And I think, particularly in leadership, where often leaders don't have people they can really be vulnerable with or talk to, you got to have a coach because you need that. You need your extended mind to be effective. So it's a long term coaching strategy argument.
That's great. Yeah. Okay. So thank you so much, Ann Betz, for sharing with us these thoughts. And I just want to, thank you all for watching this as well. I want to encourage you all to join us on April 10th,
Please.
this chapter meeting. So if you haven't already registered, go to the ICFcolorado.org website and go to the events page and you can register there. So we hope to see you all there. And thank you again, Ann Betz. I look forward to a really engaging conversation in this.
It should be fun. I'm really looking forward to talking with all of you. And so thanks for watching today.